Welcome to Flow with the Grow. I'm your host, Sophia, a health and fitness professional, positivity distributor, and a real-life human being with real-life challenges. Every Tuesday, you will hear my honest conversations on the day-to-day highs and lows that life teaches us, as well as bring you actionable tips that you can implement to improve your health and wellness journey. This podcast will empower you to flow with the inevitable setbacks of life. You will learn what it means to flow with the grow, see through a lens of optimism, and navigate your way to living your best life. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Now let's jump into your daily dose of positivity and growth. You know what's freaking wild to me is that Flow with the Grow. We are 1 year young, and this is, if you're listening on Tuesday, the time of this being released, it's actually tomorrow, Wednesday, June 16th. That is the day that I launched last year. Wow, that is just so crazy to me. And first, I just want to say thank you to everyone who listens, whether this is your first time or your 55th time or your 30th time. And if you keep coming back, thank you so much. I just truly appreciate you. I truly hope that what I share gives you some sort of value, tips, inspiration, whatever it may be in your journey and in your everyday life. Secondly, I just want to give myself a pat on the back right now because I'm so freaking proud of myself. In the past, I have, with a lot of things, struggled with staying consistent, with procrastination, with following through on things, and not really following through in, I guess, this long of a time frame. Like, I don't know, I can't really explain it, but it's like if I set out to do something, it's like I'll do it for a little bit and then it just kind of dwindles away. Like I just kind of stop doing it. So the fact that I have put out an episode every single Tuesday since day one, that's a huge accomplishment to me. And I'm so proud of that. I even had people every now and then say, because I'm not going to sugarcoat this. This has been tough at times. It has brought many tears. When I say it, I mean the whole podcasting journey of recording and editing and the length of time it takes me to edit and then also just with everything else going on in life. Like I've just had life happen to me as it does to all of us. I have had some very low points and some very high points. And it has not always been easy. It is rewarding to be able to see all of my hard work be just put out there, and then also seeing the consistency of it, and then also hearing of people who come to me and say, wow, I really like this specific episode, or they share it to their social media, whatever it is. I truly appreciate that. And it's so rewarding to hear when one person says they took away something from a specific episode. So when the times got tough, I was maybe in a time crunch, or I just had a lot of shit going on and I was up. I mean, there have been times where I've been up until 1 or 2 a.m. But anyways, I would have a couple people say, well, what if you just skip this week? Don't put out an episode. Just say that you have a lot going on. I'm sure people will understand, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, that's a no. That is a no for me. It is super important. Like I see the value of being super consistent with podcasting. And this is something that I cannot not do. Like I cannot not put out an episode 1 week just because I'm having a tough time. And so that was just not an option for me at all. So I'm so proud of myself for even during the tough times when I was super busy, just had stuff going on, whatever it was, I still put out an episode. And for example, my social media posts, like on Instagram, I have a Flow with the Grow Instagram page. And for the most part, I would say 90% of all the episodes, I put out a post for that specific episode. But there were a few where I didn't. For example, when I was in Florida for vacation, I ended up not making the images I was going to, I had every intention to when I came back, never did. And I just kind of said, well, screw it. It's all right, whatever. And that's just an example. Like every Tuesday, I wanted to put out a post for that, but sometimes I just didn't. But what is most important is that I put out the episode and scheduled and published that for every Tuesday. And speaking of social media, I am doing a giveaway for 1 year of having this Flow the Grow podcast. It's like my baby. So if you're not already following me or we're not connected on social media, I would love to connect with you because of this giveaway. So my Instagram, if you don't already know, it's at Sophia_Dawn41. Facebook, Sophia Dawn, now like a robot. I will link those in the show notes. But here's what I'm doing for my 1 year celebration, the birthday of Flow with the Grow. I'm going to do a giveaway starting Tuesday, the day that this episode gets released. Tuesday, June 15th is when this will start. And it will go through Thursday, June 17th. So 3 full days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, June 15th to the 17th. And on Friday, I will do the drawing live, probably on Facebook is where I'm going to announce it. I'll announce it on Instagram as well. For anyone who takes a screenshot of their favorite episode or a episode that they listened to in the past year of Flow with the Grow, take a screenshot of it, post it to your social media, whether it's Instagram or Facebook, and tag me at Sophia_Dawn41. Tag me there, and you will be entered into the drawing for this giveaway. If you post to Instagram and Facebook, you will be put into the drawing twice. So if you just do one or the other, you'll be put in once. If you put it in both places, you'll be put in twice. The giveaway prize is going to be a Bluetooth speaker. I have a gift card to Daily Clean Food and Drink, which in one of the episodes, I interviewed the owner. There will be a water bottle of some sort and a few other things, just kind of like a big care package, something for self-care, maybe like a massage. I haven't gotten everything yet, but it's going to be this care package of different things related to my podcast, health and wellness, mindset, mental health, physical health, all of that. And then on Friday, I will do the drawing. And let me also clarify that when you post it to social media, I will be looking for Instagram stories, Facebook stories, and Facebook posts, as well as Instagram posts. And however many times you share it, maybe it's Instagram stories and an Instagram post separately, you will also be entered double. And maybe you do Facebook stories, Facebook posts, Instagram stories, Instagram posts, you will be entered 4 times. So that's the giveaway. In this episode, I also wanted to not only celebrate this accomplishment that I'm super proud of, but also share some of the hardships that I've had. There's been a couple specific challenges I can think of in times when I didn't want to throw in the towel, but I don't get mad easily ever, but there's been a couple times where I got super frustrated, and I just kind of want to share that with you to be transparent about this whole podcasting journey, because it's not always been smiles and sunshine and perfect going all the time. I also just kind of want to take a look back at all the episodes and reflect on the process, reflect on the episodes that I've done, and to share my goal for the next 12 months, for the next year, what my goal is with Flow with the Grow. And then I have a few tips or words of encouragement and inspiration. If you are someone who maybe you're thinking about starting a podcast, or you have a dream to do something or a goal to do something, whether it's a YouTube channel or creating something, I just have a few tips and things that I have always kept in mind and that I had in mind when I first started this podcast that I think can be helpful to you in the pursuit of whatever it is that you're wanting to do. Okay, let me share with you a story. This is something that I'm going to try and remember as best as I can. This is one of the hardships that I had, probably there's actually 2 major ones, one in the very beginning, and then also one just maybe a couple months ago, kind of recently. Both of them had to do with my editing software, recording software programs that I use, as well as storage space on my computer. So I remember the first time this happened, something was going on with not having storage on my computer. And then I thought something happened. I was deleting things and I thought I deleted all of my podcast episodes from my desktop. You can about imagine what I was going through, what my brain was going through. I definitely broke down in tears, and I was most of the time, I'm very good with not reacting and just calmly responding, taking a breath, thinking things through. But this time and the other time I'll tell you about, I reacted. I made it worse by thinking that I was getting more and more mad and upset and sad and whatever. And so I thought that I had deleted the flow, like all my episodes, and I was legit full on panicking, and I was probably maybe not throwing stuff, but I was maybe kind of slamming my hand on the table a little bit, reacting and not calmly responding. And by the way, this was, of course, like the night before my episode was going to be published, Tuesdays at 2:30 a.m. It was the night before. So I had a bit of a freak out episode there. Here's what I learned. I, in fact, did not delete my episodes. I don't remember exactly how I found them, but I was able to get them back. I didn't delete them. And actually, I think I had backup ones in my Google Drive anyways. And so I had that. And it's been kind of cool because I've found this process. I still have yet to work on a batching, but I've kind of found my flow and my process with when I'm recording and editing and doing all of that. And that has also kind of helped me. The other time that I very much reacted and not responded calmly was when my editing and recording software programs, both of them actually, because I have one that I specifically use that records and edits called Descript, and then I will edit everything with my intro and outro called Audacity. That one's called Audacity. And both of those programs, something was not going right with both of them. Neither of them were working. So not only could I not record and edit in my one that I always use, but my other one, my backup one, also was not working. And the Descript one, I couldn't open any of my past episodes. It just wasn't working. I had no idea what was going on. I had to email them, and I think I ended up thankfully having a backup computer, and then it worked on that laptop. I don't know, but really all I remember, there was something going on with editing and recording, and I couldn't do it. All I remember was how I reacted because it was so negative and literally, okay, I hate sharing this because I'm not proud of this. I am not proud of this. And this rarely happens. But I was so upset and furious. Like my entire body was just like hot, and I was so mad. I was crying. I was bawling. I remember, I think, trying to find something that I could throw that wouldn't break. So like pillows and just throwing clothes and things and full on tantrum. Yes, I know. And I'm not proud of that at all. But it was like I felt like I just needed to get it out, and I couldn't breathe. I couldn't just stop myself and breathe, regroup, and think about, okay, this is happening. I can't change this. What do I have to do now? What is my next step? And eventually I did do that because I had no choice. I had to. And so I did that, and eventually, I don't even know. So eventually, like, something happened and I got it to work. Obviously, everything was fine. Everything was okay. But these are the big challenges that I have faced with things not working, not going well, not going the way that I want them to go, with long hours of editing. And there have definitely been also times where I'm up till like 2 a.m. editing last minute, trying to get my episode done in time, and tired and exhausted in tears because I'm just like, why did I wait last minute? It's just, yeah. So I don't want to sugarcoat it because it's definitely taking time. And I'm someone who's very, very particular. So like when I'm editing, I'm very picky. And yes, it's something that I could outsource. I just have not looked into doing that yet. So there have been some tough times, but also there have been many and more good times. And it's been fun. It's been challenging. It's been rewarding. And I want to bring up this concept lesson that I learned. I recently did a half marathon, and I was talking to someone on the bus on the ride up to the top to the beginning, the start line. And this can be applied to, I think, my past year. And also I think for you, if you're going through something that's maybe hard, challenging, sucks, like it's just shitty and it's tough. There's ups and downs. And with anything in life, whatever's worthwhile, there's always going to be downs and the battles, but also the highs. So I was talking to this man, and he says his motto is, it's fun when it's done. And he's referring to running. He says we laughed. It's fun when it's done, when we're done with the 13.1 miles. But he said it's so true for him because you get done you're finished, and then you look back. When you're done, it's fun because you're looking back at every step of the way. He said 13.1 miles, you're running for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. That is not an easy thing to do. He said it's an amazing feat and it's very empowering. And I thought that was just so perfect. It was so great. It's so true. And I remember on my run, I started to think about what that meant for me. And here's what I came up with. Everything that's worthwhile, fulfilling, and any purpose-driven feat is an uphill mental and physical battle. So for me, it was the run. But also I can think about this podcast. There are times when it really freaking sucks and you want to stop. You want to walk your ass right back down to the start of the mountain, to the start of the hill, to where it was easy. And maybe you almost do, but you don't. And I don't. And I keep going. And when I reach that goal, when you reach that goal or a goal that you set for yourself, you can look back and realize how far you came and that the suck was worth it. And you realize that you did that. You did that. I did that. I ran that 13.1 miles. I have created this podcast and I've kept it going. And I just think that's a really fun thing to do at the end of whatever, not the end, but after you're done, it is fun to look back on all of that. And it's fun to realize that you did something you thought maybe you couldn't do, or you didn't believe in yourself that you could do that, or that you pushed through in order to get to where you are. And it's a great motto. It can be applied to a lot of things in life, and you can be proud of knowing that you did that. So for me, looking back at all of these times where I was super frustrated, I was crying, upset, throwing things, slamming my hands on my computer, looking back at that, and then also looking back at the growth I've had with bringing on guests and talking to people and my confidence that has come through, I feel like I'm getting more confident doing this, and hearing about other people's takeaways from episodes and from this podcast, that's fun to reflect on, and it's rewarding, and it makes all of the harder times worth it. Now, I don't think that I can say that I have a favorite episode because I feel like each of them have been fun to talk about, like that specific topic. They've been different. They've all been things that I am passionate about teaching and sharing. But I do know that I have loved having guests on my podcast. Not only do you, the listener, get to learn new things from someone else other than me, but I have found that I really, really love hearing what they have to say and learning from them as well, from whatever it is that we are talking about, from Sandy Gross talking about movement heals, and her perspective and her knowledge and expertise on that, to having the co-owner of Daily in Sioux Falls, going through and talking about her journey of entrepreneurship and the growth of that restaurant, that community. And then Joe Rinaldi talking about one of his biggest struggles being a strength, and his perspective on life and on strength and adversity and the opportunity to grow, and hearing his story with his eye condition that he has and how he has used that to transform other areas of his life and of perspective. And then also having Adam Ortman on talk about personal development, and my mom talk about her journey of losing, I think it was like 40 pounds and keeping it off, and just her experience with getting off the medication Cymbalta, getting real and talking about her journey with when she was on the medication to when she came off of it and the growth that she has had. And I've also loved opening up more about who I am, kind of the journey of Flow with the Grow, but also the journey of myself, and opening up about my past and about why I do what I do, and with eating disorders and mental health, and kind of sharing things and teaching things as I go through them myself. I loved having precision nutrition coach Nicole on, where she was talking about nutrition, and we had a little bit of a deep dive into different aspects of nutrition there. And of course, David Rahman, mindset coach. Wow, he was amazing to talk to. His perspective and the conversation we had around mindset was also very eye-opening. And then speaking with a friend of mine who I've known when I was in college, with Ian, and him opening up about seasonal depression, not only seasonal depression, but also being a male and struggling with depression, and him opening up about his story and how he has navigated that. And I think that was hopefully very helpful for anyone listening to that. I talked about my lessons from Haiti, meditation, strength training, functional fitness, and then just little episodes, the mini-sodes and the episode really relatable shit about crying, different experiences that I've had like with Reiki, and sharing tips and things that have helped me in my fitness journey, my mental health journey, my nutrition, and navigating life, and just different tips and things that you can also implement as well, maybe things you've never thought about before. I really love when people say, oh, I did not realize that, or I didn't know, that's a tip that really helped me. And then I think this is a really great platform for me, as well as social media, of course, to talk about mental health and opening up about therapy, and that everyone has mental health, and there's definitely going to be more of that coming on. So yeah, I just feel like I've had, for me to look back on all the episodes I've done, I feel like I've had a wide variety of anywhere from specific tips on how to be more productive, on fit tips, so like workout tips, fitness tips, nutrition, mental health, mindset, a different perspective on struggle and using that as a strength, and just a good variety of episodes on wellness overall. It's been fun for me. I have really enjoyed it. It's also been challenging, and I do love that. It's been uncomfortable, which is also good for me. And in the coming year, for year 2 of Flow with the Grow, my goal, 2 main things. Number 1, having more guests on my podcast. And number 2, monetizing. So learning how to monetize, whether it's maybe just getting an affiliate link with a company or product that I love and trust and use, and it can help you in, maybe it's health, fitness, nutrition related, but also save you some money, of course. But I would be super transparent about that. And that is one goal that I foresee myself having for the next year. And also another way, I guess, to monetize Flow with the Grow and to kind of put more of the word out there is by creating a place where people can shop and get like a coffee mug that says Flow with the Grow, or like stickers, maybe like a sweatshirt, but I don't know how to do any of that really. So if you know of someone, let me know if you have expertise in that or experience in that. But that's kind of my next step, is to be able to have that. I think that I know for myself, like I use coffee mugs all the time. I use water bottles all the time, kind of like those Yetis where it can be cold and hot. And I just feel like that is the next step that I want to take in this whole podcasting journey of mine. And lastly, I said that I have some tips for you if you're wanting to start something big, something that you don't think you can do, something maybe you don't believe you can do, something that you've been thinking about doing but haven't made the jump yet. A couple things. First off, I got this concept from Joe Rinaldi in my last episode, and he got it from a friend, but you have this rope that you're hanging on to, right? Like whatever your situation is, whatever your current status is now, you're hanging on to this rope, and just across the way is another rope, and it's kind of the next step in life. Whatever the jump is that you're wanting to take, whatever it is you're wanting to do, you're holding onto this rope and you're going to swing to the next rope. Well, for a moment of time, you have to trust, you have to take that leap of faith, you have to believe that you're going to reach that other rope. And for a moment of time, you're kind of just free falling. You don't have a rope that you're holding on to. And that's the same thing with whatever it is maybe you're wanting to do next. Like you have to take that jump. I would say the second thing is to just start, whether it's just starting small, start simple, and just know that it's not going to be perfect, and actually look forward to it not being perfect so that you can look back on the growth and progress and improvements that you've made, that you've had, and then also fine-tuning along the way, like finding joy and fine-tuning it from its original starting point. Because I can tell you, it's not going to be perfect. It's going to suck. It's going to be shitty. There's going to be down times, as always. But if you don't start, you'll never know. And I also heard this at a leadership conference. I think I maybe mentioned this in a different episode, but John Maxwell, actually, I don't think I've talked about this yet. So maybe I'll need to do an episode on that. But John Maxwell, he is like one of the leading experts in leadership. And he said this phrase, this sentence, you can choose to suffer the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The difference is discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. I got chills when I heard that. It's so true. I know that if I would have just gone through life not ever doing this podcast, because I know years ago is when I decided and had the thought of me wanting to do this, I would regret it and it would just weigh so much on me. It would be so heavy. It would weigh tons. Whereas the discipline of the process of this doesn't weigh as much. And another thing he said, as a tip to you to remember to keep in mind, success is on the other side of I don't feel like it, or I just don't have the motivation to do it. If you say you want to do something, maybe it's fitness related, weight loss, nutrition, having more energy, maybe it's business related, this big goal and dream that you have, creating something, whatever it is, you're going to be so held back by the phrase, I don't feel like it, or I don't have the motivation. You just have to start. You just have to do regardless of how you feel. And I can tell you that for me, when I just start doing something small, like if I don't feel like editing or podcasting or whatever it is, work related even, when I start just doing one thing and don't put pressure on myself to get a ton of stuff done, but just start, I gain a little bit more energy and quote motivation, and doing it more and more, it just kind of comes. And maybe that isn't true for you right away necessarily, but it might be. And maybe you'll find that it does help later on. Don't play it safe. Do the thing. Put it into writing, whatever it is you're wanting to do. Start the ideas, start the process, start bringing it to life by putting it pen to paper. And that's my last tip for you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for leaving a review, for coming back and having me in your ears, having my guests in your ears. 1 year down, many more years to go. And I know for myself, I am excited and so stoked to see what happens with Flow with the Grow, where I take it, what kind of guests I have on, and watching this journey unfold. And I hope you're enjoying the process as well. It's kind of cool watching from someone. I know for me, if I'm following someone from like their day 1 to day 100 and year 1 to year 5, 6, 7. So we'll see what happens. But thank you for joining the journey with me. And don't forget to take a screenshot of your favorite episode or any episode that you enjoyed. Tag me on Instagram at Sophia_Dawn41, either in your stories or the post, and also on Facebook on your stories or post, and tag me, Sophia Dawn Nelik Aroba, and you'll be entered to win the giveaway gift care, self-care, fitness, nutrition, wellness, Flow with the Grow package. And I'll do that drawing on Friday. So again, you have from Tuesday, June 15th through Thursday, June 17th. Friday, June 18th, I will do the drawing. And that's that. You rock. I love you. I appreciate you. And until next time, have a great rest of your day, night, week, weekend. Bye for now. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Flow with the Grow. I'll see you next week for your daily dose of positivity and growth.